Ready?
Yeah.
All right. Good morning. Welcome to Tyler County Commissioners Court. It's Tuesday, October 29th, 2024. It's a little after 10 a.m. this morning. Madam Clerk, was everything posted accordingly?
Yes, sir.
All right, we have established quorum this morning. We'd like to thank all of our guests for being here today, Commissioners Court. Commissioner Marshall, would you please lead us in the pledge of allegiance?
Salute, flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I've asked Jackie to do our invocation this morning.
Let us pray. Our Father in heaven, we come before thee on this beautiful day. We are grateful unto thee, Father, for this free country in which we live. We're thankful for all that thou hast blessed us with, and we ask thee, Father, at this time to be with those people in our county who are suffering illnesses and other things, that they may be comforted and made well and whole if it be thy will. We ask thee, Father, to be with those people in the hurricane areas and the storm damage, and wrap your arms around them as only you can and comfort them and strengthen them. We ask thee, Father, for you to be with our judge and commissioners as they make decisions for this county, that they might do so in a pleasing manner unto thee. We ask thee to be with all of our first responders and our servicemen and women throughout the world, and keep them safe and help them be able to do their jobs in a way that would be pleasing unto you. Again, we're thankful for all that we have, and we acknowledge thy hand in all that is good, and we do so humbly in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. All right, Madam Clerk, do we have any public comments today? If there's no public comments, we don't have any table items either. No minutes from our previous meetings. No monthly reports. No resolutions, so we'll go to item number 5. Budget amendment for contingency for miscellaneous. And these are deputy supplies to cover last payment of tasers with Axon Enterprise Incorporated. I need a motion.
So moved.
There's a motion.
Second.
Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same. All right, item number B, budget amendment from contingency for miscellaneous. This is expenses for economic development.
Motion to approve.
There's a motion to approve.
Second.
Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same. All right, item number C, open bids for petroleum products.
Put that in the form of a motion.
There's a form of motion. Second. Another second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. And I guess we can go ahead and go to the next one too and open those up. Item number D, open bids for road and bridge materials.
Put that form of motion. Second.
There's a form of motion. Need a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same. All right. And we'll skip those for right now until they get in here. Items E and F. And we'll go to item number G, is approved the purchase of Vitality. It's a FirstNet retail packs, or what they are, for Tyler County Emergency Management to be paid out of contingency. And we have Mr. Mack here. If you would, could you come explain some this to us today to the commissioners?
Sure. So my name is Matt Padua. I am with AT&T. I'm part of the FirstNet outreach program.
Did
So
y'all do D?
I
No, we
always
just
like to
skipped
tell people what FirstNet is. If you don't know what FirstNet is, it's a program that was created from 9/11. So when 9/11 happened, they determined a couple of things. One, the network jammed up, they couldn't communicate. They also determined there was no interoperability between agencies. So the 9/11 Commission was created, and they came out with a contract and awarded it to AT&T. So I've been with AT&T a long time, and started with the FirstNet. We first started 7 years ago. So it's a 25-year contract. It's the goal is to build a nationwide network for public safety first responders, so police, fire, and EMS. So those are your primary users. So it's built for that. It also has extended primary users, which is anybody who does business or supports public safety. So the county, the city, tree trimmers, utilities, tow truck drivers, they actually coordinate with public safety. So they can qualify for it as well. This ROIP package is basically what I call ROIP. That stands for Radio over IP. And what John and I have done over the last few months is they tried our push-to-talk products. And what that does, it enhances the radio system. So if you guys have a radio, LMR radio, land mobile radio, it has a finite fence. So when you leave that area, public safety, think about this. They leave a certain area, they're in pursuit, they're out of an area, or the bad area was in service, they can't use the radio. And I know this might happen in the county building, it might happen in the school, okay? So what this product does, it takes the radio traffic off your radio and translates that over to your cell phones, okay? So that means that when these guys are out doing their job and they go to inside a school building, there's no service, they can still get that traffic, that communication off their cell phone too. So LMR radio may not work, right? But the traffic off that cell phone, they can communicate off their cell phone when they leave that LMR network. Not only does it work off our network and on Wi-Fi inside the building, works nationwide. So I could have a two-way radio and I can communicate with you in New York City.
Yes.
I shouldn't say New York City, so let's say South Texas,
Yeah.
or wherever. But so there's different devices. It works off of iPhones, works off of Android, and there are purpose-built devices, radios that look like a radio. I have some back here in my bag that have push-to-talk buttons on them. So say if you wanted to have some folks like yourself, if you wanted to have you're sitting at your desk and you wanted to listen to the traffic, it was important for you to listen to the traffic, you could have it on your cell phone, or you could have it on a purpose-built device that's just looks like a radio, okay? So the whole network, First Ed, is being developed for public safety. It's a 25-year contract. We're 7 years into it. We're 7 years down the road. So basically, that's a snapshot of kind of what we work with John with, and trying to have just the communication to improve it here in the county. And so it's not something you just wave a magic wand and it's fixed. It's something that we set up. It's something that we have to kind of work on a little bit, kind of get it going. But it's something I think that will improve the communications here greatly. And I think John can probably speak to that too as well, as where it worked. And there's some challenges here in the county, but the communication between us and FirstNet is important because through that contract, we want to know where the problems are in Tyler County. We can't fix the network. We can't add towers. We can't do anything until we have cooperation with the county to help me. And that's part of my job too, is to provide the communication, the technology for you guys to take advantage of, but also have the input back to you guys, to me, to where I can put that back over to AT&T and the FirstNet group where we can improve things. So, any questions you have about that? Does it make sense?
Does the cell service have to be AT&T?
So that's a great question.
Because I know
Great
before
question.
we started doing cell phone allowances, the county paid for all the deputies' phones. And they had that, what I call it, talk-to-talk, what you're talking about,
Sure.
through Verizon. So does that mean anybody that needs that needs to change to AT&T? Because the AT&T service in this county is not good
Right. So
at all.
there's areas where one carrier is going to be better. One carrier is going to be, this carrier might be better. Depends where, the cell site is in the ground, right? And where in your house or where. To answer your question though, yes, it can. Our application is agnostic. So not only can it work off an AT&T cell phone, but it can work off a Verizon, T-Mobile, any cell phone. It can work off your computer. You could actually be at your desk and just, if you wanted to listen to the transmissions of the radio, and just you're sitting at your desk, I can put it on your computer. So now there are some few differences. I don't want to get too technical, but when you do like a Verizon phone, there's some features that are not available. I don't think it's a big deal. You can't track them. There's some things, features with if I put it on a Verizon phone or T-Mobile phone, like say if you guys want to track these devices, you're able to track them. There's a portal you can track. There's all different types of features It works very much like your LMR land mobile radio. You know, you get supervisory overrides, you have talker scanning. This particular product uses a donor LMR radio. Okay, so what it basically does, you have, let's say, a console there. It's a cable, it plugs into the vocality, that's a vocality, it's a cubic vocality gateway or modem. And it plugs into that, and that's how it translates the service through to the cell phones. Now, that's why I had John, he did a lot of testing for network, and I know he'll tell you exactly where it works, where it doesn't too. Yeah. He told me, you know, and that's where we're trying, that's why we have to work together to find out where it works and where it doesn't. And then, of course, there's also things with FirstNet that they provide to you guys, and you may not be aware of. You have a tower go down out here. We will roll a truck out here, an asset out here for FirstNet. It's free. They currently have promos right now where any public safety facility, including this courthouse, if you have bad service in this courthouse, I'll put a cell booster here for free. I'll install it for free. So public safety, police, fire, EMS, or anywhere they operate, indoors. Can't do it at your house, not yet, but any public safety facility, right? So we know that there's areas of service, but keep in mind, this works off of Wi-Fi too. So not just cell service. So you go into a lot of the schools I go into, there's dead zones in those schools. No cell service, no LMR service. So, but it works off of Wi-Fi. So when you leave that cell network, you walk into a school, or you walk into a courthouse and there's no cell service, if you have Wi-Fi and that phone's connected to that Wi-Fi, that transmission still comes to that phone. So it's mission critical communication. That's what this would be a double, mission critical communications. So it's not for AT&T. FirstNet has priority. It has what we call QPP, which is quality of service, priority, and preemption. And what that does is we have a hurricane come through here or some kind of event where there's a lot of congestion, if the networks get filled up, they will bump you off the network if you're not a FirstNet. So if you're AT&T, y'all are FirstNet, she's gonna be moved off the network so you can communicate.
But does not the FirstNet, the way I understood it, because we are AT&T, and my husband is a first responder, and he's got that FirstNet on his phone.
Okay.
And they said, if there's a disaster, yours will work, like you just said, bump everybody else off. But it was our understanding when he got it that it was only for first responders.
Well, I think that's more miscommunication because it's always been for first, there's three types of users. There's primary, extended primary, and personal. So not only does public safety qualify for primary, that's the highest level of priority. Then you have extended primary, which would be the county, road and bridge, whoever, would be extended primary. And then personal. You can get FirstNet on your personal. He's a first responder, police, fire, EMS, doctor, nurse. They all qualify for FirstNet on their personal side. So if you were a nurse and you went into an AT&T store, they would convert your AT&T to FirstNet. And if it's FirstNet, he has to have a FirstNet tag on there. Okay, so on my phone, when you get FirstNet, you're going to see a little FirstNet tag at the top left. If he doesn't have that, it's not FirstNet. And
The reason I said about first responders is he had to give his state ID number as a law enforcement to
Yes.
be able to
Yes.
get it.
You have the personal side of it, you have to go to AT&T stores, you have to provide documentation, and you have to, they audit it once a year. So they'll send you an email and say, okay, are you still, a fire? And if you are, you send back your documentation, right? So basically, but it's a great question. I mean, so, and there's a lot of misinformation out there too, I mean, what it is and what it isn't. Is it a fail-safe, perfect network? No. But we're building that. We're trying to go through, we have checks. Public safety runs FirstNet, okay? There's a federal program through the Department of Commerce. And so they hold our feet to the fire. I'm a part of the FirstNet outreach program. And so I'm required to do certain things outside of the AT&T way, but the FirstNet way. And it's basically geared for public safety. Unfortunately, when something happens and you have a fiber cut, the tower goes down or something like that, and I roll a truck, people with AT&T can't get on that network. So if your tower goes down or something like that, you know, I roll this truck out here, we set up the cell tower, it's only gonna work if you have first class service, right? So it's for public safety. That's the most irritating thing. If you have AT&T, it's like, I can't connect, it's not working. Well, it's because you're not on first net. So that's what it's geared for. And I think that the priority piece with the data part of it, that's how this transmission works off of this LMR network. It's band 14, through that federal contract, we received band 14, which is a slice of spectrum, very low spectrum at 700 megahertz, which penetrates buildings better. So the data piece of it is a little bit better than AT&T. The voice side of it, about the same. I would say much better, maybe a little bit better, but the data part of it is faster and better. With the two-way communications, it helps it's a data package, which when you hit the button, you just want to hear the conversation. You want to hear it fast, just like you would on a two-way radio. And so that's what this does, right? It just translates it out to the people. Whereas where he loses service, some places he may be able to have better service to communicate, where he would lose it on his LMR radio.
So what is the fee like per line?
So the interrupt fee, so if you have push to talk, so you can have push to talk on just a phone. It's $2 a month, okay, extra. To do the interrupt, it's $5, so it's $7 a month. So you add $7 a month to the line. The Roy, you have a quote on that. I think it was $5,000 and something dollars for that. You can do up to 8 channels. I think this one's quoted for 1, but you could always add if you wanted to. The slot goes from 1 channel to 2 channels, up to 8 channels if you wanted to. Once you hook it up to the 1 channel, if you want to switch the channel on the donor, you could. Say you have 2 channels and you want to switch it on your donor, you could, right? So phones, like if she wanted to push to talk to her existing iPhone, $2. If you wanted the LMR, $7. If it was a Verizon phone, they charge you 10. They charge you 10. So that's our agnostic application on there. So works good. It works well. There's other things too about the system. There's a lot of different features. I could bore you all day with it, but it works very, very similar to LMR radio. It has a lot of the same features. Supervisor override. You can just have it on your phone. If you don't want to listen to it, you can turn it off, put it in silent. There's all the different features on the application itself. So really something that I think really does help with communications in the county. I have set these up in many, many counties in Texas. Most of them are rural, just like yours. That really helps. I mean, it really does provide a benefit to a lot of the law enforcement and public safety in certain areas of the county, for sure.
And I remember during Ike, we lost communication and we couldn't communicate with our road hands, and that was a big problem.
Yeah.
And I was trapped in an area, couldn't get out. My saw was hung up in a tree and just there, and.
Well,
No
real life
problem.
personal experience, just with Beryl, the hurricane went through. I live in Cyprus, and my wife has an AT&T phone and she has a Verizon phone for work. And when it came through, knocked our power out, she went down on both of them. But I stayed up on my first net. And so that's what it's about right there. Is it fallible? Yes, it is. If that tower was blown over and knocked down, there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do.
So what about when it's public safety? So is it county employees or just county first responders? Because I have a question still about what is your ID that says you qualify for first net?
Great question. So public safety automatically qualifies, okay? The county qualifies too. However, we put it over on you to tell us who qualifies with the county. So let's say you go into an AT&T store and I'm with Tyler County and I want to get on FirstNet. They will switch your SIM card or switch your eSIM in your iPhone or whatever it is. But when they do that, they send an email to somebody with the county. It might be human resources, auditor, whoever. And you hit approve or disapprove. Okay, so we just don't put them on. We go back to you approve it. We used to do that, and it was no good. So we put it back because we figured you guys know who's working with the county. We don't, so you approve it. So there's 3 users. Public safety is gonna be the highest level. The county employees are gonna be a lower level. Now, one thing I can do, say we have a storm coming or something like that, and you go through me, and we have a portal that you guys have access to. You can raise the county employees up to the same level as public safety in advance. I can do it for 48 hours at a time. So I can put everybody in the whole county at the same level.
Well, for one, I know our road guys during storms, they're out there. I mean,
Yes, sir.
they're most of the time right there with the deputies, and they need to be
Uplifted.
up there.
They need to be uplifted. Yes, I do that. We do that quite frequently. They'll get a text on their phone, let them know they've been uplifted, and they're at the same level. I can only do it for 48 hours, but then I can redo it after 48 hours.
Okay.
Okay, so we do a lot of that, especially here in Texas. We do it all the time, all the things we have going on. And we also do planned events too as well. So if you have a festival, I do a lot of this stuff too. But basically, if you have a festival where you have a high congregation of people, where it might stress the network, and we know about that, you give me 30 days advance notice, and I will either roll a truck out here to help public safety if you think it's an issue, or there are things we can do with our towers as well. So in some cases, we call it high caps, and we can set that tower to lock onto your band 14 on FirstNet users, where it helps them with their communications. So there's 2 different things I can do. I generally like 30 days notice if I can. Sometimes I don't get that, but we just did the air show this past weekend at Ellington Field down in Houston. So a lot of big crowds down there. And I do a lot of festivals over. I cover, just to let you know, I cover all of East Texas, all the way to Brazos Valley, Cog. I got that too. I don't have Harris County, but I did support that this past weekend.
So I got one more question and then I'll leave you alone.
No, you don't. What?
So if they're on this FirstNet and then all of a sudden they're having a problem, technical, customer service, am I gonna be talking to somebody in the Philippines or am I gonna be talking to somebody here?
No, I'm sorry, laughing. No, that.
Laughing,
You're probably
but-
talking to me. Here's how I do
Because
this.
here's where I'm going with that. We have AT&T Internet. We have had it a long time.
Oh, yeah.
And you
That's the
get,
bad part right
you
there.
call a number and it tells you, leave your name and number and someone will get with you in 24 to 48 hours. Well, if we're down, we need to, and then I was promised like an 8-hour response time and it was 3 days later and nobody had ever called me back.
Let me, and that's another great question. She's asking some good ones that really mean something, because I'm mobility. FirstNet and AT&T, I'm on the mobility side, so I'm wireless. So I'm not on the terrestrial side, so I don't do the internet and that sort of thing. However, there is somebody assigned to your account, like me. I don't like calling 800 numbers, and I don't like my customers calling 800 numbers. So let's just take FirstNet and AT&T in general. Call me. I have a team. I have CSSs, or we call them customer service specialists, that work for us. And they do billing stuff for us. So it's not an 800 number. They live right there. She lives in Tomball. The other guy lives, I think, up in Walker County, Huntsville. So on this part of it, you go through me. So I like everything to go through me. I might delegate it to somebody else on that side, okay? But because I did not know how to do it all, but on the internet side, that stuff, I feel your pain. But there is somebody assigned to Tyler County, and that's who, if it's the county stuff, for sure, that's who you need to go through first. Don't go through the 800 number. That's my advice. I mean, and I can help you there. And even if it is something that's not on the mobility side, it's on the wireline side, I'll help if I can. I know I've been there a long time. I've been there 28 years. So I know a lot of folks. So
How long are we on the hook for this? Is there a,
good question. All of this is in the Texas DIR contract. So are you familiar with the DIR contract, Texas DIR contract?
so, but,
There's no contract. There's no contract.
okay, so
No.
we're,
You can activate a phone for 1 month and disconnect if you want to. There are no ETFs. You don't have to go 2 years to fill a contract. It's just a 1 year, I mean, one
So
month.
what was the 25-year contract you were talking?
That's the contract that First Net has.
Allow First Net to-
Yeah.
Yeah. So you also have special pricing on that contract. You also have early upgrades. So like with like your commercial phones or individual phones, you got to go 24 months. You do an upgrade with First Net, 12 months. So you can get a new phone every year. So a lot of good things in that contract too.
I mean, it says here all orders are not cancelable. So what is that?
Well, that's probably with the locality. The locality, once you purchase that, it's yours. So that's through our business. Now, there is service, like one line of service that hooks up to that box, that can be canceled. That's like a monthly service, right? But the box itself, if you buy it, you have 30 days.
Yeah, that's the device that
That's just the
transfers
gateway. That's
the
the
radio into.
Yeah, that's the modem. So if you get it and don't like it, say this isn't working, you get 30 days. You know, usually I'll still get 60 days because I just have to get their approval to return it. I've never done that, but if I had to, I would. Because we do 30 days and sometimes you just can't get these set up in time in the 30 days. But that's usually the issue.
I do know that we have places in the county, and I think Donald could probably speak to that, and John can speak to that as well, that in the county where you don't get cell phone service, the radios wouldn't work in those certain places. So this kind of thing could be very beneficial to our officers and first responders. John, you want to
Can I
say something?
say something?
Yes, sir.
So, Norm, Matt gave us some radios to use, you know that.
Yeah.
And I took around the whole county. And there was some holes that we know that there's holes, they actually work in some of them holes. And it even worked at my house. I have no AT&T up in Coleman Hill, that north end. It worked out there. And when Burl come in, I was over at the big thicket. We were talking, Burl moved in and Rodney and all the big thicket. They didn't have no signal with AT&T. But my first net was working. I was talking back and forth to Tommy. So it actually worked.
Yeah, I think me and John, one of them
Yeah,
was in Dallas,
Yeah, when
and,
Dallas and everything.
and then we were just talking to one another on the.
Is that gonna help my guys down there?
Yeah.
The fire
Yeah,
department?
I went down there and worked in that area, drove around there, and they did work in that area. I mean, it actually worked. I was really surprised. But there is still holes out there. There is still some holes out there.
Y'all go to Barlow Lake and try it?
Yeah, I went from Barlow down, I didn't go in Barlow, but I went.
That's a
But
good
it
thing.
actually worked out there.
I wouldn't go down in there either.
It's meant to enhance your radio system. We don't want to replace it. We want to enhance it.
So we have this, it's the 2,300 and, the down payment kind of things.
Yeah, I know Ivanhoe has been having trouble and they're trying to, they actually are the first ones that, called me about it. Then I got with John and come to find out John's been, working with them already.
I'm working with Brandon.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brandon and I talked quite a bit. I've pulled him on this too, so.
So,
No. How much is the total up front? Because we're looking at this, it's the 5,000.
like 6,000.
That's basically for the equipment for the interrupt. Now, it depends on, if you.
So is this a different monies than the 2,300?
Yeah, well, basically, do you have a quote? Did he provide a quote to
This
you?
is right here, what we got.
Let's see. No, he didn't have a quote. Yeah, but it's both of those. It'll be
Okay.
both of those, yeah. So there's a license fee, there's an equipment fee, and then there's a license fee. And then they charge you for each channel, and it's quoted for one channel. And I think I was told that's all you guys needed. But if you wanted to add a channel later on, you could.
I think one channel would be sufficient for us,
So as far as like, the fire department's adding on, they just add on through the emergency management, how would that work? And the county
Do
employees?
y'all use the same channel?
We don't even use the radio anymore.
Yeah, we hardly ever use radios anymore as far as, besides our officers.
Right.
They're the only ones that really use.
Well, there's a couple of ways to do that. You can, when you get this product, you'll have a portal. And it's called a corporate administrator And so you can create channels in there and talk to us. So you can do different things, like you could have one for the fire department, you could have one for, EMS or public safety or whoever, so it's very customizable. I mean,
Okay.
because the fire department might not want to talk to the patrol officers, they might not want to hear all that, so we can do anything you want. I mean, it's a question of how you want it configured. Usually what happens is that we set this up, you'll start using it for about 2 or 3 weeks, and you'll go, hey, Mac, we need this. We want to change this. We want these people to be able to talk to these people. We want to change. So we can do all that, right?
Can it be set up for the billing for the fire departments if they want to join?
Sure.
They comes directly for
I
that
can create
channel?
different accounts. If I want accounts for the fire department, I can do a separate account for you, separate account for the county, separate account for public safety, however, that's all pretty customized.
Okay.
I want to say there is about a 2 or 3 week period where we kind of tweak it.
Yeah.
We have to kind of figure out how you're using the radio, so we have to, and I have a team that specializes in this, by the way. And the only thing that I would tell you is that we would need somebody to work with us. You have an IT person or something, or anybody that's.
Well, we got to,
We need, there is a test and turn up call that I have to do. And there's somebody here on site with that box that we can just kind of tweak it. It doesn't take long, but that's the one thing that I do need. Just what's on. Sure.
Sounds good.
Was anyone got any questions in court? Any suggestions or anything?
No, I think it's a good idea to help enhance the dead spots in the county for the,
Almost $10,000 altogether.
Yeah. and like, John and, he was already working on this before we started.
So is it an annual license fee or?
Just a one-time.
Just a one-time fee? Why does that sound too good?
Well, you're paying for the service too.
Yeah.
Remember the monthly for like the LMR is per month.
Yes.
So your $2 or your $7 is per month. But that's just one.
I don't know most of the people in the county's Verizon, but I know everybody on the north end is because AT&T don't work up there. So,
Yeah,
that's
I'm
no
waiting
problem.
for my contract to end so I can go back to Verizon because I can't get service in the north end of the county.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because,
But your
Like
apps
you
say I can't.
well, just like he said, it's worked in a lot of places that didn't work before. That's what the first difference is between AT&T.
And if you have a hotspot, like I did, I carried a hotspot, right? It worked right even in places that a Verizon hotspot. And it worked in places that it didn't work before. And it worked in a much
It
smaller.
utilizes all the towers, is what I'm getting from it. It's not just
It
AT&T.
prioritizes the service over other users too. So the heavier the congestion and traffic on the cell tower, the less service she's gonna have on AT&T, but yours doesn't change. Yours is prioritized to the top. It's kind of, sometimes feel like it's not fair, but that's the way we treat public safety. And it's not just, when I say public safety, there's a lot of people that qualify under public safety too. So all you guys are qualified. There's there's individual responsibility titles that are included in that. But it's there for public safety. It's there for us to work together. Even if you do this and don't like it, and like you said, you mentioned the service. I've talked to John a little bit about that. I turn in a report and that information back through AT&T to FirstNet about where these houses. We just got more funding from FirstNet. We did 7 years. They did 7 years, so they reevaluated it and they extended our contract. They're giving us more money, and most of that money is for cell towers. It's for coverage. That's what's needed, and that's what's needed here in East Texas. I'm from East Texas. I know. I'm raised in Hardin County, and I know I travel this area a lot. And I know the holes like y'all know, but there's some holes. Definitely. The highways are it's we need help.
So where's the 10,000?
John, do you have anything else you want to?
But like he was talking about that console, you can break out the fire departments and the
Yeah,
sheriff's office
It says 5,915.
on different channels, and We don't have to listen to it all. Now, somebody with emergency management, or the judge, or the sheriff, can listen to everybody.
But on this quote here,
If it's so big, but we don't want the fire
we'll
department
divide.
listening to the
divide.
police, the sheriff's
Yeah,
office.
this is the quote right here.
That's everything together?
So what-
And there is a,
900 and.
I went already through that little bit of training with Max shows us that little,
5,915.
So when you say that we reach out to you on technical.
Yeah, this is
problems,
just from Ivanhoe. This is the quote we got for the county.
Yeah.
who- When you're not
Brandon,
available.
Brandon.
That's,
Like right now, he emailed me,
So this is GCR, but this is just, you pretty much get thrown
like right
out.
now, I'm traveling.
Well, that's the only thing we had whenever we got this, and John tried to get to him. He just got to us
I have a
a
CSS.
couple days.
Customer service rep, like
Yeah,
an hour.
but it's 5,000.
I have a person like me.
let's confirm
Back
this.
it up. And I have a CSS listed on my email.
So what is the turnaround time that you say? I mean, I know it depends on what the problem is, I get that, but typically.
Typical, I would say 2 to 3 hours max, 4 hours max, and your signs will be pretty
Well, might as well
responsive.
just.
But normally, you're gonna be responsive. It's a migrant side. Very good.
Is this our total upfront? Right there. We just need to know, is that our total upfront price?
Yeah, that's where we're at, yeah.
Okay, so that's all we're gonna be out up front is
That's
that.
for the road, is that for the service?
That's,
No, no, service is like monthly.
It would be
Well,
depending
that's
on how many sign up for the
Yeah.
service.
And like, the-
$5 a month or
If it's 5
$7,
people, it's
$3.
Yeah,
So-
exactly.
so like the fire departments, he can create a channel for them and they pay their own.
Yeah.
If they, depending on which ones, I know Warren
Yeah.
has a lot of trouble and so does Ivanhoe.
So if you had like 10 fire,
See, we wouldn't be paying.
Yeah,
theirs. We
but, yeah, I'm gonna get my guys on there too.
Seven full-time employees.
So you'd be paying
This depends
$21
on-
a month.
they have if they have current service, like say you have a fireman and he has AT&T, he doesn't have FirstNet. So we're gonna convert him to FirstNet, first of all, he's not on. And then from there, it's just an add-on, $2 or $7. You don't have to do the interop if you don't want to. I mean, some people may want that, may not. You can actually just create a network without pushing it through the land mobile radio or your two-way radios. So say we all just want to talk together, all of us, it's be $2 a month. You just wouldn't be hitting that
Unless
radio
you
track.
have Verizon, and then it would be 10.
Yeah, they charge you,
Yeah, I was gonna say, everybody's got Verizon, because we get better service throughout. the
and I
whole
may have to get that down, I'll double check, it was $10. I have to check, they had the Texas DIR contract updated during summer, and so I'll double check, but it was 10. If it changed, it went down,
Yeah.
all the pricing on there.
Until we get a better concept, we'll take this. We'll get a better price on this.
I mean, I'm good with it, but.
Good. Just knowing, but that way we can come up with how many employees each one of us would have on this, so. Because if each body has employees on this, like I would have John and Tanya and myself on mine, and then you would have your guys, and you'd have your guys. I could
But
have
but
seven.
that's the thing, you don't have to do it, If y'all don't wanna have your guys on there, they don't have to be on there.
Yeah,
And if they do, and it doesn't work, and they're unsatisfied,
well, that's our thing, with the
there's
Verizon,
no contract.
with the Verizon thing, with $10 a month. If, I guarantee you probably 75% of our employees probably have Verizon entire. county.
Well, if you guys get me a total of that, let me work on that for you.
Good.
Okay? I mean, because I don't know how many you're talking about, like one, it'd be $10 a month. But if you have like 100, I mean, let me work on that for you. I'll get it down for you. I don't know what it would be, but if I know there's a lot of that, then I can go back and try to do a better price.
I just think that, we need to look at that really close before we commit. If we have all those Verizons, it's gonna be $10 a piece.
You tried the phones, right?
Yeah, I did try the phones, and the phones were wonderful.
Did you try just the radio only one? Or was it the big?
The radio,
Yeah, the big one.
yeah, I had the big
Not
one, yeah.
Not the phone.
So, can I see that one? Okay. Where's it looked at? That whole top. Okay, so these are devices that you can purchase, and I have another one over here too. This is a radio, okay? There's another one that goes a little bit bigger, looks more like a radio. You don't have to have cell phone service on these. So like say you're a fire department guy, so you don't want to pay the $10, you can actually, these are free, the other ones I have are free, with an activation, but here's the catch, $17 a month for the service.
Yeah.
Okay, and then if you add the $5 to that, it'd be $22 a month for each radio, for each, per.
And something that me and Johnny talked about is not having one for everyone, like every department, like your road foreman would have one. And your road foreman would have one, and then
Fire
the
department's
chief would have one.
But,
No,
that,
just-
you know,
Can't communicate with their hands, what's the?
Yeah,
But what I'm
but-
saying is communicating with
yeah,
different things.
but, like, you know, for my guys, 7 guys, $7, well, I have to do 10. 10, that's $1,200 a year.
Yeah.
For all of them. I mean, that's.
Yeah.
But that's some, you know,
Right.
individual, officials will have to make that decision on if they want it or not.
Paying for their service today's, or is it their personal service?
No, they get a,
They get a cell phone.
It's a cell
allowance.
Okay. So,
Basically, we're paying.
Yeah.
so, yes, sir, exactly. And so what happens a lot of times when I do this is they're given a stipend to the employee or the agency or the public safety person. And a lot of times it depends on the level where they're at, but it's $25 to $60 is what I see. Take that away. Here we go. We're going to communicate with you in two-way. Now, these can do cell and two-way or just two-way. You know, you add cell, a little bit more expensive, but what I see is that you have a personal phone, fine, you have a personal phone, we're gonna stop paying this, the stipend, they give you this. It's even- it doesn't get cheaper. It saves the county money.
$25 per stipend on cell phone.
Get there, right? I mean, so, I mean, it depends, I mean, what I see, the
Does anyone
level
else have anything in?
is the stipend, right, so. you
So
might-
that's a whole nother issue then, if we're giving them and it would be a personal phone they would be adding to, well, we can't add to their personal phone, you have to pay them, is what I hear you saying, unless we gave them one of them and the county paid.
Well,
for
you
that.
don't, what you don't like a Verizon phone is a license that you pay for. So you can bill it, like say, like to your point, you could have, you know, billing it to the agency, to your P&L, whatever. And then that's just a license you put on a personal phone. So they don't have to pay for it. We're not responsible for it, paying for it, you are. But we send the license to them, they install it on their phone. So if you're paying $40 a month for stipend, this ends up, you know, they have their personal phone, they can do what they want with their personal phone. This is their two-way communications for, you know, public safety. And what happens is, this is data, so this is I mean, a lot of you guys realize when you talk on the phone, that's a full duplex transmission, so it's harder to communicate, especially in bad areas where there's no service, and you're gargling and stuff like that. One of the reasons why he says it works so well in some of those areas, this is a half duplex transmission, so when I hit the button, I have a channel. I don't have anybody talking to me at the same time, so hit the button to make the communication, and that data gets through before the voice communication would. So that's one of the reasons why these work areas that somewhere where you may not think you have service, this transmission will get through. So that's kind of why it's been developed from the first net part of it, the priority piece of it, and the beta 14, it's all that data channel. And they are updating some towers here to 5G, just to let you know, which is faster data speeds, and they're doing it, supposed to be complete by the end of the year nationwide. Don't know they hit you guys here yet, I'll check, but.
No, it tells me I got 5G, I can assure you I don't have.
Do you have 5G plus?
It says 5G.
Yeah, but it says 5G plus is what you have to do something. So if you go to Houston or someplace like that, you'll see 5G plus, and you'll see that probably in the next couple of months happening. And that only helps the transmission of the data.
I'd like a motion, we table it till we get some good numbers.
For each and every person, right? There's a motion to table, there's a second. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Same. All right, Thank you very much.
Do you have a card?
I will.
Item G has been tabled. We'll go back to item number E to award the petroleum. Open them up.
Then you got to garment ones and safety clean. I don't know whether to take one and pass it down. We did put on the bid specs that they had to be within a 50-mile radius of us
On what was it?
on the fuel.
So there's two of them here.
And see if you look, it says, must be located at a central location in Tyler County with 24/7 availability along with a generator system. We put that in our specifications. But I don't know where safety clean, unless that's, they say they would come and put one somewhere, but I couldn't see where it tells us where it would be.
What was this last, whatever it's all, special reactor, is this in one of the bids? This, was it in one of the bids?
I don't know where that came from. What does that say?
It's got different oils and stuff in it.
That probably came with the safety plan. Hey, did those pictures of the different types of oil, did that come with the safety plan or on the oil? Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. Okay. Well, thanks. Yes, it was with the safety clean, and it was 30 pages, so that's why she only printed one.
And how far is this other company?
Well, see, that's what, I don't see where, you see where in our specification,
Well, they highlighted it, it says must be in a central location. Tyler County with 24/7 availability along with the generator system.
right, that's what we put, but it doesn't, I couldn't see where it tells you where it, where they would be supplying it from in our county, or to our county. Because all they list is a mailing address, which is out of state.
Can we table these? Call them?
Well, I mean,
God, that's way out. MA is Maine, isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
Maryland.
Maryland,
Maryland.
Maine is MI.
I just like to get out of this.
See their.
I just think the oil was all there.
Yeah, it
Oh,
doesn't
really?
look like they're bidding on the fuel, it's just the oil they're bidding on.
They're just bidding on the oil, they didn't even, I didn't see a fuel bid.
So that's probably why they're thinking they can ship it
You
to
know,
us.
we make a motion for $7 all.
Yeah, I don't even see a fuel bid, they didn't even place it in.
Just oil and hydraulic oil.
Yeah, hydraulic oil,
Motor oil. all I
motor oil,
see.
is all I see.
To see it, if you look at this page, It tells you that they didn't give,
Yeah, they didn't give that NA and everything.
They can eat all the fuel.
Well, that,
So we could approve both bids as far as the oil, possibly.
I mean, you do it for road material.
I make a motion to accept Gardner Oil for fuel and both companies, Gardner Oil and Safety Clean for oil.
okay. There's been a motion to accept Gardner Oil for the fuel bid and both Gardner Oil and Safety Clean for, the oil products. Do I have a second?
Second.
There's a second. All in favor, say aye.
Uh,
Any opposed, say. All right. We need their bids. Is there just one?
It tells you who the
Oh,
supplier.
okay, there's.
It compares them.
Is this your?
Well, the prices didn't go up. But they didn't go down. Yeah, they did go up. Limestone.
No, once again, depending on where you're at in the county.
Right. I would like to make a motion that we accept all bids on road materials.
And that way you can choose.
There's been a motion to accept all bids on road materials. I need a second.
Second.
There's a second. All in favor, say aye.
Uh,
Any opposed, say. All right. Item number H, accept the resignation of Tyler County Precinct 1 Constable Ronnie Ford, effective October 31st, 2024. Commissioner Blackson,
Yes, sir, I put that in the form of a motion.
there's a motion. I need a second.
Second.
And I'll go ahead.
Would you like to read the letter
Yeah,
there?
let me find it real quick. There you go. Dear elected officials, this letter is to inform you of my intention to retire from Constable Precinct 1 at the end of this month, being October 31st, 2024. It has been my sincere honor to serve the constituents of Tyler County as their Constable Precinct 1. Due to a prior shoulder surgery, I'm electing to retire early from my position. I would like to recommend Constable-elect Tim Scroggins for appointment by you to complete my current term. Respectfully, Constable Precinct 1, Ronnie Ford. I'd like to thank Ronnie for his service.
Yes, I'd like to thank Ronnie for his service and for the county for many years and doing different things, and thank him for that. I know he's had some real troubles with his shoulder and different things, and, Mr. Tim Scroggins is our elect constable that would be going in January anyway. So there, we got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed, say. All right. Item number I is to appoint, Mr. Tim Scroggins to the Tyler County Constable Precinct 1. Commissioner Blackford,
Yes,
you
sir,
want,
I put that in form of motion.
there's a motion. Second.
Second.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
uh,
Any opposed, say. All right. Item number J is appointment of new board member for ESD number 3 out of Shady Grove. And, Mr. Johnny Mitchum has been put up to be the new board member there. Commissioner Hughes,
I put that in form of a motion.
there's a form of motion, need a second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Any
Okay, I've
opposed?
got with John The EOC he lives in the precinct, he's eligible. So I've been looking for somebody, he called and wanted to be on it, so I said,
Work first.
works out good.
They're not beating the doors down for that.
No.
No,
they are not.
not beat the doors down for that position.
Try getting the treasurer.
I had to replace the whole board.
All right, item number K, a contract with AT&T for our internet services for our Tyler County offices. And what this is our offices throughout the county. Mostly, am I correct to say, Mr. Calhoun, that the sheriff's office, they run on AT&T because dispatch kind of runs off AT&T too?
The whole county has AT&T fiber, and we also have the New Wave or Sparkline. We have both of those services, but where it fails, if one fails, the other one picks up.
Okay.
You know,
And we have the landlines.
Yeah, and the landline, so
I'd like a motion to approve.
there's a motion to approve, need a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Uh,
Any opposed, say. All right, item number, L, acceptance and approval of notification of the Texas Department of Agriculture regarding the grant number 726192. Madam Auditor?
This was a grant that was received. There was only like 5 in the whole state of Texas that were awarded. After Hurricane Rita, it was 2 jobs. And so it was an agreement that was entered in between the Department of Agriculture, the county, and East Texas Trust LLC. That was the owner is Ronnie Poindexter. And that has been completed, and it's all free and clear, and we do not owe TDA any other payments. They had stated that some of the interest that they had charged for that should not have been posted to interest, it should have been to principal. So the final 10,000, a little over 10,000, they forgave interest and sent us a letter that it's a satisfied loan, because that's basically what it was. It was like a small business loan, but went through the county, but it is, I'm happy to say, completed, done, and over with.
I'll make a motion to approve.
second.
There's a motion to approve, and second, all in favor say aye. Any opposed, same. All right, any comments or by court members pertaining to matters of county government? I'd like to say I met with, Martin Gonzalez yesterday, we did, and, we had some good words through, TxDOT, that they have accepted completely our Tyler County Commissioner's, proposal. It's, pretty much about a 92 to 90, I'd say 92 to 94%, wouldn't you say? Somewhere in between there, that they're gonna follow our Tyler County, proposal completely. So it was a wonderful thing to hear that, all the things we asked for, they did. I want to thank all the communities for stepping up, and, of course, we had Mr. Pittman and, Mr. Greg Adams. They did all the big heavy lifting, but we had a lot of other people out there getting signatures and doing some great things. And I want to thank the Commissioner's Court for, standing firm on that, and standing firm for Tyler County and standing firm for Woodville. And we're thankful that we could get this done. They had told me that very few times do counties or cities get things like that done. But we had such a great proposal laid out that they almost couldn't say no to it. And it was just so great. And I just want to thank each one of you for the hard work on that. And it really paid off. Anyone else? Any other matters pertaining to county government? I know there's not maybe a matter to county government at all, but I'd just like to say for our court to be in prayer for Miss Mandy Reisinger and her family, John David and Mandy, continued prayers for them. If there's no one else, need a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
There's a motion, second, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say. Thank you.
I have some signatures.